Well, hello there. Terrible joke. Yeah, it was. So, it was pretty. Okay, let's look over here. This way. Okay, check it out. We are looking at something that looks a lot like what we were looking at the day before. But it's a little bit different. This time, what are we actually seeing here? Looks like eggs again. Once again, it looks like they're keeping them in groups of a dozen, right? All right, so let's go ahead and if we're going to write an expression of what we're looking at over here, we could say something like 4 groups of a dozen. Or we could say 12 4 times. Just all sorts of stuff. All those would essentially say what we're looking at right now. So let's, and remember, 4 groups of a dozen, that looks like 4 times 12. 12 4 times looks like 12 times 4. Remember, both of those would get you the same answer. So that's the first thing I think I'm looking at. Let's see what they want us to see now. Study the following image. We did. We saw 4 groups of 12, or 4 groups of a dozen, or we saw 12 4 times. Oh no, they changed it up on us. So now it looks like we're getting 4 groups of 12. Oh, I should write this in words first. Okay, 4 groups of 12. 4 groups of 12. And then 2 more groups of 12. All right, so 4 groups of 12, and then 2 more groups of 12. So this is one way that I could represent in an expression how many eggs we're looking at. All right, so what I mean by that is 4 groups of 12, 4 groups of 12, and then let's actually add the word more there. And then 2 more, or I already had the word more, 2 more groups of 12. 2 more, essentially adding, and 2 groups of 12. So we initially had 4 groups of 12, and then they added 2 more groups of 12. Now, if I solved this, let's find out what the answer is. Remember, we're going to use our order of operations, BPMA, brackets, parentheses, multiplication and division, and addition and subtraction. All right, so let's look at this. 4 times 12 is 48, plus 2 times 12 is 24. And then finally, if we added 48 plus 24, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, and then 4, 5, 6 plus the 1 that we carried. So it looks like here we had 72 eggs. And if we actually counted the eggs in the picture, we would have 72. There's your tinky winky math right there. Remember, that's called simplifying an expression. Okay, so let's see what they gave us. So what do we notice? What do we wonder? We wonder how are they going to present this to make this more complicated than what we just figured out. Let's find out. How is this expression modeled? Okay, there we go. 12 times 2 plus 4. 12 times 2 plus 4. Now, we can possibly get to the answer the same way with 12 times 2 plus 4. However, we're trying to get the same answer that we got on the previous page, which is 72. Is there anything that you can do to make sure that we get 6 groups of 12 using grouping symbols and make this expression equal 72? Try it really quick.